Okay, children, we are here back today and we're going to do the chapter Resource and Development. And we're going to start with conservation of resources. Now, why do we need to conserve our resources? Now, we need to conserve our resources because man has been indiscriminately using resources. Children, today so many tigers have gone extinct, so many plants have gone extinct, so many animals and birds and butterflies and insects have gone extinct. Now the only thing that hasn't gone extinct is perhaps human population. So what we need to do is, it becomes very important to conserve our resources. Now, take out your books, Peter, to the heading Conservation of Resources, and you will find on the second line, please write a question out there. Why is conservation of resources important? Why is conservation of resources important? Why is conservation of resources important? Mark out these lines and then I'll explain them. Irrational consumption and overutilization of resources may lead to socio-economic and environmental problems. To overcome these problems, resource conservation at various levels is important. Now, if we don't conserve our resources, remember children, there is a cycle for everything. If there is a water cycle, there is a nitrogen cycle, there is also a food chain, a food web. So even if I destroy one particular animal or one particular bird, that is going to have a tremendous impact on the resources. It's going to have a tremendous impact on every kind of natural vegetation, and that is going to disturb the ecological balance. And that is why the necessity arises why we need to have conservation of resources. Now, land resources. Land is a very important resource. Actually, we're going to study about land and then water and then wildlife. We're going to study about it in this class. Fortunately or unfortunately, the chapter on water and the chapter on forest and wildlife is not going to be dealt with in detail, just for just the map work, and I'll give you perhaps a little introduction to that chapter. Now, land resource. Let's study land resource in this chapter in detail. Now, come to the third line. Land is a natural resource of utmost importance. It supports natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, transport and communication systems. Now if we look at land better, what is the use of land? Why is land an important resource? Why do I need to conserve land? Now can I think of growing crops to eat if there is no land? Can I think of building my house? Can I think of building a stadium? Can I think of building a hospital? How can I think of building anything? Besides the building, I require mud and stones and brick and cement. Where am I going to procure all that from if there is no land? So land is an important resource. All birds, all animals, all insects, everybody is dependent upon the land. Now, next paragraph, put the heading Relief Features. Relief features. 43% of the land area is plain, provides facilities for agriculture and industry. Now, mind you children, this is related to India. This is related to India. We have 3.28 million square kilometers of land. And how is this land, divided? We have 43% of land that is plains. Plains means maybe level land. We are excellent for agriculture, excellent for industries, excellent for transport. It's so easy to build, a sort of road or runway, or to build something on land beta. So land is important for transportation, land is important for agriculture, land is important for industries, schools, hospitals, anything you can think of. It's easier to build on a plain than to build on a mountain. Next, mountains count for 30%. They ensure a perennial flow of some rivers, provide facilities for tourism and ecological aspects. Think better, if the mighty Himalayas were not there, where would we have Gangotri, Yamunotri from? How would you get all those rivers of the north? That is the tributaries of the river, Himalayas, the tributaries of Ganga, Yamuna and Indus and Brahmaputra. Where would they originate from? Imagine North India would not have been a fertile plain, would have been a desert. So for that reason it is so important, because from mountains they become the source of many rivers. Also better, the scenic beauty, tourism, from which the country earns tremendously, is obtained from nature. The beauty of nature brings us good income. Finally, the ecological aspects. Whether we need to have, the ecology of the country which is maintained. Environment has to be maintained. Mountains provide an excellent feature. 27% of the area of the country is plateau region, and it possesses rich reserves of minerals, fossil fuels and forests. Look at India, a beautiful Deccan Plateau. 27% of it is, the Deccan Plateau. And it is the storehouse of minerals. The storehouse of minerals are the Deccan Plateau. Now, land utilization, very important. Now just imagine, I have a piece of land. What do I use that land for? Oh, should I grow a forest on it because trees are going to give me oxygen and, very healthy environment, and there are going to be birds on it, and there are going to be animals in the forest and things like that. Should I use it for forest? No, I won't grow crops. I'll grow something else besides crops. I'll grow fruits. No, I'll grow very expensive orchids or some exotic flowers. No, I'm going to build a school on it, and I'm going to build a hospital on it, or I'm going to run a factory on it, or I'm going to build a multi-story building on it, or I'm going to use it for a multinational company. One piece of land, abundant uses. Now, what are we supposed to use land for? That is the land utilization. Number one, forest. Kindly copy all this in your copies also, children. It will be easier for you to study. Number one, forest. Number two, land not available for cultivation. Either it can be barren land. Barren land is, children, or wasteland is land which is not cultivated. Now when I'm traveling by train and I come from Kota, say, to Lakeri, there is so much of land where nobody stays. There is not a house on it. Maybe the land is fertile, but we don't do agriculture on it because there are no facilities. There's no water, there's no electricity, there's no school, there's no vegetable market, there are no grocery shops, there is no human living out there. So those lands are wastelands. They're barren lands. They're not used for anything. Land put to non-agricultural uses. We build buildings, we build bridges, we build roads, we build factories, we build schools, we build so many other things. Third, other uncultivated land. Now I told you and repeatedly I've been telling you, India has 1/6 of the world's cattle, that is cows and buffaloes and sheep and goats. Now we need pasture land, we need to grow fodder, and that is definitely not crop for us, but it is food for the animals. So we have land which are pasture lands, grazing lands, land on which miscellaneous tree crops are grown. That is, that is maybe fruit trees, maybe just we grow eucalyptus, which is very needed in the medicine industry. So land which is used for anything else besides crops. Cultivable wasteland. Bitter India is a land of disputes. Many a time two brothers get into a dispute. The reason why the two brothers get into a dispute is because of the distribution of the land. And when it is because of the distribution of the land, what happens is land gets, a stay order is put, the land is wasted, none of the brothers can use the land, none of the parties who are in court can use the land, and that land is a totally wasted land. Cultivable land, totally wasted. Fallow land. Fallow means, children, keeping the land to rest. Fallow means keeping the land to rest. For some time the land is rested, because how can you keep on and on and on, children, putting fertilizers, chemicals? Sometime the land is going to say, relax man, come on. Let nature replenish me, I'm tired of your artificial fertilizers. The land is not going to be productive. The land needs some natural fertilizations, and that is why we need to keep the land fallow. Sometimes land is kept fallow for one season, and sometimes the land is kept fallow for many a season, maybe even 5 years. So that is bitter, uncultivable, that is fallow land. Land which can be cultivated but which is kept to rest. And finally we have the net sown area. Now net sown area means the land which is cultivated during one particular season, and the gross cropped area. I told you we have 3 cropping seasons: the Rabi crop, the Kharif crop, and the Zaid crop. We have 3 cropping seasons. When we take into account all the land that has been cultivated during the 3 seasons, then it gives us, children, what is known as the gross cropped area. Now for the next paragraph, please write the question, what does land use depend upon? For the next question, next paragraph, land use patterns in India, please write the question, what does land use depend upon? Now underline, and you may write it in your copies also. Please write everything that I am marking out. You have to copy it in your copies. Be easier to study for the board exam. Use of land is determined both by physical factors such as topography, climate, soil types, as well as human factors such as population density, technological capability, and cultural and tradition, etc. Children, see, what does the land depend upon? Topography. Is it mountainous? Is it a flat plain? Is it plateau? Is it containing soil that is, alluvial soil? Or is it soil which is not alluvial and it is really, really bad soil? What is the climate of the place? Is it too hot to go there? Is it too rainy? We have to see to many factors. We need to see to many factors, children. So it becomes extremely necessary for us, to see how we can put land to, and again population, a very important factor. Now why is population a very important factor? Population becomes a very, very important factor for the simple reason that the more the people, more the houses, more the other amenities that are needed and required. More schools, more hospitals, more shopping areas. So can we use all that land, children, only for agriculture? In spite of having land, India sometimes, and so much of agriculture done, we have to import certain crops. Now, why do we need to import those crops? Because the land is used for other purposes besides agriculture. So, land use depends upon this. Now, kindly come to the next topic, that is on page number 7. Page number 7, second paragraph. There are about 130 million hectares of degraded land in India. 28% is forest degraded area, 56% is water eroded area, and 16% is saline and alkaline deposits. Human activities such as deforestation, overgrazing, mining and quarrying have contributed significantly to land degradation. Under the diagram, kindly come. First point, third line. Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Orissa, deforestation due to mining have caused severe land degradation. Number 2, Gujarat, Rajasthan, MP and Maharashtra, overgrazing is one of the main reasons for land degradation. Number 3, in states of Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, over-irrigation is responsible for land degradation due to water logging, leading to increase in salinity, alkalinity and alkalinity of the soil. Come to the next paragraph. Ways to solve problems of land degradation, that's going to be your heading. Number 1, afforestation and proper management of grazing can help to some extent. Number 2, planting of shelter belts. Number 3, control of overgrazing. Number 4, stabilization of sand dunes, leave a line. Number 5, proper management of wasteland. Number 6, control of mining. Number 7, proper discharge and disposal of industrial waste. Now see children, totally we have 3.28 million square kilometers, okay, of land. Out of it, 130 million hectares of land are totally degraded, useless. Now we have 28% on which forests have been cut down and the topsoil has all been eroded off. 56% is water eroded. Destruction of the soil, destruction of the land just caused due to floods, improper management of flood waters. The entire area is totally destroyed. 16% on which bit we have let out chemical waste, industrial waste, and as a result what has happened is, because of the chemical waste, because of the industrial waste, that land is poisonous, for underground water and to do agriculture on that land. Now if we look at Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, due to deforestation has taken place. Why? They are rich in minerals. So to take out the minerals, we have destroyed all the forest cover. In Gujarat, Rajasthan, MP, there are, areas where there are a lot of cattle, no proper grazing grounds, cattle overgrazing. Children, when a cattle or a cow or a buffalo eats grass, they catch the clump of grass, pull it out from the root. So all the grass is lost. There's no grass for the next season. So overgrazing. Third, Punjab, Haryana and all, over-irrigation. The land has become swampy and mushy and totally degraded. Now, how can we solve these problems? These problems can be solved. Afforestation, please grow trees wherever possible. In front of your houses, please do grow trees. Planting of shelter belts. Shelter belts means at the edge of the of your field, they need to grow grass, they need to grow shrubs, or they need to grow trees. That is to break the speed of the wind and so that the topsoil is not washed away. Planting, control of overgrazing. We need to control overgrazing. We need to stabilize sand dunes by growing shelter belts so that the sand dunes do not go further and further and desertification does not take place. Managing a wasteland, put it to some profitable use. Shift your factories outside the cities so that cities can be clean and pollution would be outside the cities. Control mining activities and most importantly, let there be a proper method to discharge chemicals. And with that, I end today's class. I hope kids you've understood the lesson and you've enjoyed yourself.